And we're live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. With me tonight, I have a guy who I've seen at sports shows for probably 25 years up in Northern Illinois, a guy by the name of Matt Jones. He's also known as Cat Matt. And Cat Matt is back in Illinois, in his old stomping ground. And man, congratulations, man. I'm I didn't get back, but you did,
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't see it coming either, but we had we had some circumstances that came about. My kids, when I left and moved to Kentucky, my kids both lived out of state, and everything was going on, and we have some, we had some health issues in the family, and my kids both moved back here. Now we're expecting our third grandchild, and Cadence, and so we just decided, and we'd been wanting to add on to our cabin down there, and it was outrageously expensive to do that. And so we just thought, you know what, if the opportunity comes, let's move back home. And the opportunity did. So here I am. I'm 3 miles from the Rock River, as luck would have it. So
3 miles. Geez, your old stomping ground.
I'm right there. I'm looking forward. I'm going to get back busy and start chasing flatheads again. That's what I know the best, and I'm looking forward to it.
And you're going to start catching your own bait again. And
Yeah, flathead fishing and catching big ones consistently is a lot of work. Just like with all the work you do, you put in the work and you'll get the results. You keep on using good bait and good spots, you'll catch the fish. It's just a matter of time. So,
oh yeah, you got to have the right. Just with bass fishing, you got to have the right equipment. You got to have the right lures. Yeah, and you got to put the right lures in the right spot at the right time.
that's right.
So
I don't know anything about them bass.
yeah, are you have only fished for catfish your entire life?
Yeah, outside of bait, I mean, I went ocean fishing once. There was a time when I was young when I'd hit the local lakes for some crappie and stuff, but pretty much catfishing's been it for me. I mean, I've taken a bluegill trip or a crappie trip every once in a while, but um, realistically, I've been a catfisherman for my whole life since I was, Dad was carrying me across the creek on his shoulders when I was 4, 5, 6 years old. I caught my first catfish when I was 6 on a rod and reel. And I'm 51 now, so it's been a pretty much a lifelong journey for me. Yeah.
Wow. There's guys, dedication. This guy just is dedication. How many flathead catfish tattoos do you have on your arms?
A lot.
A lot.
I've got a lot of trees and stuff up my down my arm and back, and I've got flathead mixed in and stuff. And I don't know the exact number, but I got a lot. I love flatheads. I say it all the time. I love flatheads more than I love people.
Sure.
Um, but I just, you know, that's been my life passion. There ain't been. I mean, I love deer hunting. I do a lot of that. Um, you know, so there's been some other little things mixed in there, but uh, I'm a flathead guy. I love catfishing.
So let's talk about the Catfish Academy. Now that you're back in Illinois, I assume you're going to be doing that again.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be. The Catfish Academy used to be a message board on the internet, and a lot of the message boards kind of died out
Yes.
when Facebook came about, because people could do everything on Facebook for free. So
Yes.
we just those kind of faded away. But the Catfish Academy was a bunch of things. It was catfish camps where we would get together, give stuff away, do seminars, talk about fishing, go out fishing, things along those lines. And I want to bring that aspect of it back. And I also going to start up my Catfish Academy live um, shows. So I want to do live shows on Facebook. Once my YouTube page, which is Old School Catfishing with Cat Matt, once it reaches 1,000 subscribers, I'll start doing some live stuff on there as well. And um, so I'm going to start doing that. With giveaways, I do great giveaways. I got great sponsors that allow me to give stuff away all the time. Boss Cat, GNS Cheese Bait, uh, Offshore Tackle. They're a planer board company.
Oh yeah. I
Cast
love
King,
offshore tackle, man.
and Cast King's a great company. They've really delved into the catfish side of things recently, and their products are, you know, are amazing, and they've got something for everybody. But Jason Jurett, Jay's Weights, and lots of different people are involved in it. And you can't make something go on your own. You got to have help, and you got to have people that are support you along the way. So um, I'm looking forward to getting those up and going. I love talking about catfish with people, and and then I'm going to start up my guide service as well. So back up here on the
Sure.
Rock River. So
And guys, right here at the lower left is Cat Matt's personal phone number. Give him a call if you'd like more information about the Catfish Academy, or if you'd like to schedule him for a guide service. I remember he filled up pretty quickly. There's a lot of people who want to come to the Rock River and catch a
oh yeah,
catfish in a lifetime. Are you going to be guiding Lake LaSalle as well?
yeah, I'll be going over to LaSalle some. Um, you know, Teach people how to do some dragging and drifting for blue cats over there. Granted, I am no seasoned blue cat fisherman, and I learned that when I went south. But that lake is it's almost like it was a driver's license test facility. I mean, you talk about a place to go and learn the craft so that you can then take it and kind of adapt it. Um, there's no cover in that lake. It's a great lake to learn how to just set up your rigs and learn how to control your boat. Dragging baits. And it's got some really good deep water in it. It's got a few ledges in it, so it's a great place to go and practice catching blue cats.
Yeah,
One of
I'll
the
tell
It's one of the few great things our DNR has done for us.
I'll
You
tell
know,
you one thing, that lake used to be like you said for bass, man. I could go there on March 15th and clean up, catch 150 bass, and my arms would hurt by the end of the day. And you could look down the wall or the jetty, and there'd be 150 boats, and every single one of them is lifting a bass, hoisting a bass out of the water. That's also where I caught my personal best catfish. We estimated it at over 40 pounds. We caught him trolling for stripers with a
oh
crank.
yeah,
I mean, just the rod went back. I'm like, we're snagged. And my buddy's like, it is 40 feet of water right here, man.
yeah. That water's warm. Them fish are aggressive in there, and blue cats are known for their strike. For hitting so hard right off the bat and running, and um, they're it's a fun lake, and again, it's a great place to go. And you don't see that many boats nowadays, but you are, there's still a lot of great catfish in there. There's been more small ones stocked in there over the last couple of years, so it's a great place to go. I've been on all those I filmed a couple television shows on LaSalle Lake. I
I bet
also
you did.
filmed one on Braidwood Lake as well, and that was actually the first television show I ever did was on Braidwood Lake.
Was that for
Um,
Midwest Outdoors?
what's that? Yeah, that was with Midwest Outdoors, and they had just stocked that lake like the prior year before, and we probably caught 75 catfish in 2 or 3 hours there. We didn't catch anything over 2 or 3 pounds, but again, they had just been stocked then, and I have not got to go back there since. So I'd love to go back to Braidwood and check that place out as well. But um, I'll be doing most of my stuff will be on the Rock River here. So
Yes. Yes. That's what you're known for is the Rock River, the lower Rock River, actually. Which,
yeah,
I fished it up
I
towards
love
the
the Rock River. I do.
I fished it up towards the Wisconsin border.
Yeah.
Since I went to high school in Rockford, so I caught a lot of smallmouth bass up there, a lot of walleyes, and
Oh yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
you can't fish for walleyes with leeches without catching catfish.
Well, yeah, and that's something about the Rock River that a lot of people aren't aware of is you know, one of the top rivers in the country for walleye and smallmouth, easily. Uh, I talked to Keith Cavage, who is a walleye pro. I ran into him at a boat ramp down here one day, and he said that this pool of the Mississippi and the Rock River right here, you know, it's held in high regard amongst the pros for
Is
their
that Keith Cavayas, you mean?
yes, yeah,
Keith
I
Cavayas is one of the quintessential walleye pros. He's one of the original
yeah.
walleye pros.
I ran into him at the Albany boat ramp on the Mississippi there, and we got to talking about it, and he speaks very highly of this area for walleye, and I mean, the smallmouth fishing and the walleye fishing, when you're throwing shad nets and you're catching those fish, or I'm fishing live shad for flathead and catching smallmouth in brush piles, I mean, yeah, very good river.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you about that. So you're going to start up the Catfish Academies. Are you going to have your outing this year then?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get everything scheduled for this year. I'm going to start the live shows right away. We've got so much going on. I mean, we're going to the Catfish Conference, which is, you know, become the big kind of go-to show in February down in Louisville, Kentucky. Every catfish vendor on the planet is there, and all the catfish people come from across the country. It's a buyer's market down there. People do not come to window shop. They come and they buy their stuff for the whole year. I mean, you can get absolutely everything that you want for catfishing is at this show, from boats to rods and reels and tackle and uh, if you name it, and you could possibly want it in catfishing, it's there. So
Nice.
that's the 25th and 26th of February at the Louisville Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky, and me and Michelle, my wife, will be at the Cast King booth. Uh, Offshore Tackle will also have a booth there. So you can get your pick up your planer boards while you're there. GNS Cheesebait was there last year. I don't believe they're going this year, but um, you know, lots and lots and lots and lots of great sponsors, lots of seminars. They have a catfish cook-off. So you name it, you can
I
do it.
remember a GNS catfish bait. I bought that when I first moved to Rockford, and I had it in our garage, and my mom was going around the garage and, what is that smell? What is that smell? And man, she grabbed that stuff and she brought it inside and showed it to my dad. He goes, "Oh, cheese bait."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you bring this in?" Nah. He's like, "I don't fish for catfish." And
Yeah.
they both looked at me and like, "Yeah, I'm caught. Where can I
I,
keep it?" They made me keep it outside in the shed.
yeah. If you're the kind of person that wants to catch catfish, you need to introduce yourself to GNS Cheesebait because there's a lot of baits on the market. Some good, some great. You know, GNS Cheesebait is amazing, amazing bait. Great way to learn how to fish. You're going to catch fish with it, and yeah, there's tricks to it, tricks to the trade, but
Well,
great way to get introduced to catfishing.
that's what I was told when I walked into a bait shop in Rockford back in 1985. Asked them,
Yeah,
what do I have to do to catch catfish in the Rock River? And they said, well, you need to get you some dip worms and some barrel sinkers and GNS catfish bait.
yeah, they've been around for 29, 50, 50, 51 years now. They've been making GNS cheese bait. Anybody that makes a cheese bait that long and has it on the market that long, that speaks for itself. If it was junk and it didn't work and nobody liked it, it would have been gone a long time ago. So all you need to do is think about that for a second before
That,
you go any further.
that company is almost as old as I am.
That's amazing. I mean, because
It's
you're
been
an old
around since
man.
the 60s. I know. Almost. You're almost as old as me, though.
I am. Yeah, I'll be 52 in December.
So, yeah, you're a child of the 80s, too. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Back when that area was still quite rural.
Hey, they used to when I had girlfriends in high school. On the weekends, they'd ask if you want to go, can I come out to your house, or you want to go here or there, and I would always give them directions to the creek. And I always could tell if I was going to get along with them because, some of them would grab McDonald's and they would come out and they'd park on an old dirt road and they would follow the map I drew them down along the creek and cross this log and that log, and they would find me on the creek bank and they'd sit there and fish with me. The other ones, they weren't worth the time.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good
had that
story,
happen many
man.
times. Yeah, catfishing was just my thing. I just loved it.
Nowadays, they wouldn't go there because they wouldn't have good Wi Fi.
Well, not just the Wi-Fi, but I just, there's so many catfishermen in the country right now. I hate for them for their opinion of catfishing to be derived from what they see on the internet, because the internet has become a, you know, a few cliques of groups of people that are, you know, um, not exactly what catfishing is about, and you know, tournaments have become the only way to judge people now. You're either in the big tournament, or it's just become so colluded, and it's a mess. The internet's just a mess. But um, you know, that's what I want to bring the Catfish Academy back for, and just get back to catfishing. And yeah, there's a lot of great tournaments around to go fish that are fun and with great people around. There's a lot of good information, a lot of people spreading good information. There's a lot of things to do. Um, fishing's supposed to be fun, and that gets forgotten quite a bit on the internet. But you know, so we're angling towards bringing the old school back.
Fishing the smaller river, not fishing the. Are you going to be fishing the Mississippi River again now too?
Yeah, I'll be fishing the Mississippi River. Heck, I'm 5 miles from that.
You're 5 miles from the Mississippi now.
Yeah, I'm right in the fork, almost right in the fork. They come together right at the palm of my hand there, and I'm right in between the two of them. I go right and I head to the rock. I go left, I head to the Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what city are you close to on the Mississippi?
Well, I'm in Silva. I'm close to the Quad Cities. If anybody's heard of the Quad Cities,
Oh yeah.
I think it's made up of Moline, Bettendorf, Rock Island, and Davenport. Two on the Illinois side, two on the Iowa side, and I'm right there. Um, I've got a dam right here. I've got two different pools I can fish and be on in 6 or 8 minutes. Plus, I got the Lower Rock River over here that I can be on in 3 minutes. Um, so I'm in a great place, located in a great place, and looking forward to spring. We're in February here, so another month or month and a half here, and things should break free or start to break free, and can get back at it. And I'm looking forward to being back here. I've recovered a lot. My health has gotten a lot better. I'm really motivated and passionate again, like I was 15 years ago, 12 years ago, and really anxious to get back at it. Start taking people fishing, start catching flatheads again, and just having fun catfishing.
Well, I can't say welcome back to Illinois because I don't live there anymore. But I'm glad you're back in Illinois, man. It sounds like that's where you belong.
It is. It is. Like, as much as I don't like the corruption and the government part of it,
Well,
uh, it's where all my hunting and fishing memories are, and I'm hoping, good Lord willing, I'm able to make a bunch more.
well, there definitely is a lot of whitetails there in Illinois, and
Oh yeah.
there are a lot of catfish too. I too went there and to LaSalle and caught those giant blue cats, and I've even caught a couple of flatheads in the rock. Most of them accidentally, even though you don't catch many of them accidentally. But
No, you will every once in a while, but
well,
yeah.
they're drifting fathead minnows on the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Trying to jig up a walleye or a sauger.
You'll have that.
What the hell is this?
Yeah. That ain't your daddy's walleye. Yeah, that's
No,
yeah.
no. Even
Yeah,
a little 5 pound flathead will give them walleye equipment a run for its money.
hey, a lot of flathead fishing have been made by catching fish on accident. I mean, they feel that power, and they decide, I'd like to do that again, or try to catch one even bigger. They're very easy to get addicted to, and so
Well, I also used to take. Well, this was back in the early '90s when I first got out of the Air Force. I would take bluegills down to St. Charles Dam and throw them up against the dam face, and I
yeah.
caught a few flatheads. And nothing huge, just I caught a few.
Yeah,
Probably 10 pounds was the biggest one I ever caught, but still, it was fun. Do that at
yeah, we
night.
do a lot of that here at all the dams on the Rock River are low head dams, and that a lot of people do that here as well. You throw weight up close to the dam, throw your bait up on the dam, let it spill and get sucked up underneath there. And there's been a lot of big flatheads caught on the Rock River at the dams that way.
Yeah, I caught them on the Fox that way. In St. Charles, Geneva, Batavia,
Absolutely.
Algonquin. I caught some there too.
I've only fished the Fox once, but I have caught a flathead there, and um, cool looking little river. It's like a miniature Rock River, basically, in my
Yes,
opinion.
yes. There's a lot of muskies in it, a lot of smallmouth bass, a lot of walleyes come down from the Fox Chain, and also Shabana Lake and the Fox Chain both of those
Right.
lakes. They they stock the Fox with muskies and walleyes, and
There you go.
so you know, and I was one of the guys safeguarding that way back when I was guiding Shabana Lake. I didn't like the fact that my walleyes were just swimming away.
Okay. It's been I've wondered many times myself, looking back on, I worked with the DNR as well, and I tagged flatheads as well, and I have tried to spread the word and turn tournaments from catch and eat to catch and release, and you know and at the same time I've also attracted a lot of attention to the Rock River and brought a lot of more fishermen to the Rock River. And
Yes.
so sometimes you wonder, have I done more good than bad inadvertently? The bad is always inadvertent, but have I affected the river positively or negatively? And I've always tried to do the right thing, and I'm granted, as individuals, we what we think is right isn't always right, but we try the best we can. And I've always tried to promote the river and promote catch and release and help anybody that's wanted to help or needed help, or help them as much as I can. I certainly don't know everything, so um,
One thing I learned about Illinois, doing the exact same thing you're talking about, if a body of water doesn't have an advocate, it's going to be forgotten by the DNR because DNR has very scarce resources. And if they
right.
don't have people screaming, guys like me who are putting it in the paper constantly, talking to the Chicago writers like you did, and you're going to again, you know, it stuff's going to get forgotten because it's just the way it is, man. It's sad, but it's true. So you got to take the good with the bad. What you're doing is you're making sure the biologists do their studies. You're making sure that the stocking that they get their fair share of stocking resources. And yeah, of course, but the bad part about it is, yes, you're exactly right. More people are going to come.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, right now the big thing that the fishermen in Illinois are fighting is this new tournament rule that our new communist czar of the DNR is trying to enact, with the, you know, taking 10% of all the purses of every tournament has to be donated back to the DNR, and um, all the insurance that we have to carry and everything. I mean, they have made it almost impossible for little bass clubs, little crappie clubs, uh, to even run tournaments for fun, you know, uh, in anywhere in the state of Illinois. I know, speaking from the catfish world, because I've seen um, virtually every catfish tournament series that I'm aware of, and I'll forget some because I don't know them all, but I know on Clinton Lake, uh, several of the series on the Illinois River, the series I was going to restart on the Rock River, um, the one that's ran up there on the Fox River, and there's more, um, have all been canceled. And there's not going to be, so speaking from the catfish world, none of those series are going to be run, uh, because number one, we as fishermen know some things. Um, we know that it's a money grab. We know that money, they say that money will go back into the ramp where the event is held from. And we know better. DNR, shame on you. You've been lying to us for long enough. We know better. We can't even get a light put at some of these ramps, one single light, so we can see to load our boats at night, yet alone, or even get them mowed on a regular basis. So, um, shame on them. And, again, that's another thing that being a guide with a mouth has, you draw a lot of attention. And I get chased around by the DNR a lot.
I did
Um,
too. I did
even
too.
Yeah, even though at the beginning of the year, you have your boat inspected, it's part of the guide process and all that stuff. They don't appreciate you speaking out against them, which, lucky for me, I don't care what they think. So, if they would
Neither
start
one.
to work with us and for us, they would find that our attitudes toward them would be amazing. But we need them to. This new rule here, uh, is pretty much the end all of all tournaments. Cabela's, of course, the Cabela's Catfish series dissolved, but you've got a lot of series that are still around, Twisted Cat and some of these other, and they're not going to come to Illinois anymore. So catfishermen that like to fish tournaments 2 or 3 weekends a month, they're going to be heading out of state. They're not going to be coming in state. They're going to be heading out. So it's a big loss all the way around.
Sure is. They think they're going to grab money, but they're not. It
Not
happens
from
a
us, they're
lot.
not.
It happens a lot. So do you have any shout outs you'd like to do? Any thank yous to any companies or individuals or groups?
Absolutely. With everything I do, um, a lot of things you don't get to do without help. Sponsors or friends or you know, um, obviously I want to send a shout out to Cast King. Got to check out Cast King, castking.com. They make everything from skiing and hiking equipment to catfishing to bass. They are an up and coming company in the catfishing world. They're already in 100 and some countries around the world, but they are really coming on in the world of catfishing. Obviously, the Geary family, all the people associated with G&S Cheese Bait, great people. Boss Cat, Ron Stallings, thank you, Ron Stallings. Check out Boss Cat, all kinds of different gear, but his the one thing that is really sticks out with Boss Cat is all their hooks and their hook selection. Amazing stuff. And the Deshano family that owns Offshore Tackle, Ken Deptner, Offshore Tackle, all great people. Planer boards have kind of really become a big thing in the catfishing world. And Offshore Tackle is at the forefront of that. Jason Jurett, Jay's Weights, and I can go on and on. Lizard Creek Knives and a lot of people, elite rod holders that have helped me kind of along the way, and I've a lot of individuals. I'm fishing tournaments this year with my buddy Jeremy Stetter and Mike Keel. I've got a lot of friends that when I was sick. Um, and I needed things, or when I wanted to get back into things, I wouldn't have been able to do things without a lot of guys: Steve Polmeyer, Mike Keel, Jeremy Stetter, Kenny Knox. A lot of these guys have really stepped up and helped me, whether I needed bait for a trip when I was too weak to go get it, or if I needed just somebody to sit with me when I was ill and on my deathbed. But um, I got lots and lots and lots and lots. I mean, I could go on all day thanking people and thanking companies, um, you know, but I'm number one is God. He has brought me through all this stuff, put me back where I think I belong, and gave me the opportunity, hopefully, to fish many more years here. And the funnest thing, I've gotten to do so much with catfishing, from radio shows and television shows and seminars and you name it. And still guiding to this day is the best thing. You meet new people every time you go out. It's a new adventure every day. And I still have the desire to do that. And get back into that and start pushing it heavy, and obviously do things like this.
Sure.
With guys like you who been in the industry for a long time, and you've done great things, and I just, so many people I could thank, but if I sat here and thought about it, I would take up more hours, because every 2 minutes somebody else is going to pop into my head. And but just, if you've had a part in it, helping me along the way, or all the guide clients I've had, all the people that have sponsored me and helped me with things, I believe me, I truly appreciate it.
Well, hey man, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to our listeners, our viewers here on the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. It's great to have you on. Great to see you. Great to see that you're recovering and you're back in Illinois. It's great to see, man.
And it's always great talking to you, Jay. You're one of the hardest guys, one of the hardest working guys in the industry, and I wish you nothing but success, pal. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. Again, my name is Jay Angel. I was your host with very special guest, Matt Jones. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Jay.